Oi, oi. Hum, acho bem. Send and a bit. Looks like my excuse me. Use on. There we go. Get him there. Ah, there you go. Brilliant. Um, yeah. Go there. Um, Oi. It's okay. Look at people seem to come in. My backside isn't sore, which is weird. Eee. Mm. That's 22 minutes. Okay, I'll start. Mm.
Truly astonishing stuff. Britain, France, Canada, and Australia have recognised Palestine as a state, something they should have done decades ago. And it represents a symbolic action rather than the actual meaningful action we need right now to stop genocide. Nonetheless, Israel has gone apeshit, as per, and is plotting revenge. That means collective punishment of the Palestinian people, including possible formal annexation of much of the illegally occupied West Bank. Now, Israel's response really underlines Israel's status as a caricatured, one-dimensional villain in a film. It's along the lines of, "Ooh, nice Palestinian people you've got there. Shame if something further happened to them." Or, "If this is your choice, let's see how you like it when we make your precious Palestinians suffer even more." Literally, that is their position. Now, as you know from my recent documentary, I was recently in the West Bank, and Palestinians there emphasized that proposed recognition of Palestine by Western nations wasn't being done above all else for Palestinians at all, but rather for domestic political consumption in the West. In other words, Western governments are facing anger from their own people because they've facilitated genocide. So they're doing this to prove that they are doing something. But this is something Palestinians, I suppose, who said should have been done in the 1990s, not the 2020s. These Western states are very, very latecomers. Around 150 of the UN's 193 member states have recognized Palestine. What, many Palestinians ask, is being left of Palestine to even recognize? Now, this is being done instead of meaningful action to stop the genocide, as British Palestinian medic Ghassan Abu Sitta, who served in Gaza during the genocide, puts it. When the alternative became sanctions that could end the genocide, the UK government chose performative recognition. Why stop the genocide when you can recognize people as they are being slaughtered? Now, for example, Britain continues to provide Israel with crucial components for fighter jets, F-35 jets, which rain death and destruction down on the people of Gaza. Britain continues to share intelligence with the intelligence services in Israel. They do RAF surveillance flights over Gaza, which Britain refuses to be transparent about. Britain continues to arm Israeli soldiers on British soil.
I hate this one. They're literally flying over here and getting trained by British military. Fucking stop that. And those surveillance flights were broken by Declassify UK. Fucking amazing. They're still happening, by the way. My government sucks. And yes, they're supporting a genocide. For Christ's sake.
Refuses to prevent British nationals from serving in an Israeli army committing every war crime under the sun, let alone prosecute them. Britain refuses to impose sweeping and effective sanctions on Israel. Britain continues trade with Israel worth £6 billion a year. We could go on. The fact that Israel and its cheerleaders have flipped over symbolic action, which does nothing to stop the genocide, tells us a few things. It shows how the West is determined to humiliate itself over and over again with Israel, that it has bent over backwards to facilitate genocide and refused to take meaningful action, and yet still Israel rages at these Western states. This also underlines how Israel's cheerleaders in the West are despicable, contemptible, and I'm going to just say it, pieces of shit, who don't even pretend to believe that Palestinians are human beings. There is nothing in the way they speak, nothing in the way they operate, nothing in how they respond, nothing in terms of how they in any way approach this entire subject that makes or provides any evidence that they think Palestinians have the tiniest morsel of a fraction of the worth of those they consider to be humans like themselves, with rights to dignity, security, and indeed life. Now, let's listen to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is subject to an arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity.
I have a clear message for those leaders who recognize a Palestinian state after the terrible massacre on October 7th. You are giving a huge reward to terror. And I have another message for you. It will not happen. There will not be a Palestinian state west of the Jordan. For years I have prevented the establishment of this terror state against tremendous pressures, both domestic and international. We did this with determination and political wisdom. Not only that, we doubled the Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue on this path. The response to the latest attempt to impose a terror state in the heart of our country, this response will be given after returning from the United States. Just wait.
So when Netanyahu says there will be no Palestinian state to the west of the Jordan River, it's just worth unpacking what that means. Having raised Gaza from the face of the earth and exterminated so many of its people, the official policy of the Israeli government is to make life unlivable in Gaza, herd the survivors into a concentration camp, and then deport those who then survive so that Palestinian existence is permanently erased from Gaza. There's no subtlety about Israel's genocidal intent. It is their official policy, which is why there is a consensus, of course, amongst anyone who knows anything about genocide that this is indeed genocide. What then about the illegally occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem? Netanyahu notes that he successfully faced down demands to accept a Palestinian state, which he labels a terror state, a term which accurately describes Israel with its genocidal terrorism in Gaza, its state-sanctioned settler terrorism in the West Bank, its repeated slaughters in Lebanon. Just yesterday, an Israeli drone strike, an Israeli terrorist strike, killed 5 people, including 3 children. Most of them have US citizenship. Not that the US cares about its own citizens if Israel's killing them. There's, of course, as well, the repeated Israeli invasions of and attacks on Syria, the war of aggression against Iran, the war crimes in Yemen. And then, of course, the recent Israeli terrorist attack in Doha, Qatar, which sought to wipe out Hamas's negotiating team. Now, Netanyahu also notes that Israel has doubled the illegal settlements in what he calls Judea and Samaria, which is the biblical term used by Israeli politicians to refer to the illegally occupied West Bank in order to justify the nonsense that God has promised them that land. He hasn't. He says, Netanyahu, that he will respond to the recognition of Palestine on his return from Washington and that we should expect collective punishment. That's what we should expect. Collective punishment against the Palestinian people. That's what he's talking about. Potentially meaning annexation of the West Bank in some form. Now, if there is never any Palestinian state, which is the official position of the Israeli government and the consensus of the Israeli political elite, including the opposition, what does that mean for them? Does it mean an eternity of occupation, of apartheid, formal apartheid, with annexation? I mean, it is apartheid, but with formal annexation, and it is already annexed in practice, let's just be honest about it. With formal annexation, you can't say it's not apartheid because you then have territory where if you are a Jewish Israeli, you have all these rights. If you're a Palestinian, you don't have any rights. You live under military rule. You can't use roads. You don't have citizenship rights. You have no rights. An eternity of that, as well as an eternity of colonization, of land just being colonized, taken by illegal settlers, while millions of Palestinians live there indefinitely, while more and more of their land is stolen by illegal settlers. There's currently over 700,000 illegal Israeli settlers. And the areas those Palestinians live on simply shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. I'm afraid to say it doesn't mean that, as dystopian as that is, because that isn't in any way a long-term tenable position or plan. It's not possible for that to happen for all eternity. Because, you see, in practice, Israel just wants all Palestinians gone, from the river to the sea. That's its ambition. That's its aim, and it works backwards from that position, based on what it thinks is politically possible and feasible at any given time. Now, in Gaza, Israel calculated after 7th October that this was extermination. In the West Bank, their plans are currently more in slow motion, but as they terrorize Palestinians, with security forces and settlers attacking them, driving them from their homes, incarcerating them, torturing them, murdering them, making their everyday lives humiliating and impossible, asphyxiating their economic existence, have no doubt, they want the Palestinians gone, dead or alive. That's their ambition. That's their plan. There are no pretenses here. Listen to Galit Distel Atbayan. Now, she's a member of Likud, Netanyahu's party, and indeed the ruling party in Israel and a member of the Knesset, Israel's legislature.
What will happen is that this Gaza Strip, at the end of the day, we will make unlivable for humans until the population leaves. I am even optimistic at this moment they would leave also from Judea and Samaria, and not just from the Strip.
Wait, one second. Also Judea and Samaria. Is it possible to achieve significant migration?
I said that for me, yes it is.
She refers there to the West Bank, and she says that, like Gaza, Israel will make the West Bank uninhabitable until the population leaves. No pretenses here. Israel's leaders have spent the genocide jumping up and down, screaming to the world about their intentions. Now, if Israel seeks to annex the West Bank in some form, it is simply illegally annexing land that doesn't belong to it. And it has already annexed it in practice. It just makes the pretense a reality. But it's no different from what Russia was doing in Ukraine, which the West is loudly decrying as an intolerable existential threat. The media framing, of course, does not reflect any of this. As a British Palestinian I follow named Hamid puts it, why are they reporting it like some kind of tit for tat? Can you imagine an Iraqi official has told Sky News a full or partial annexation of Kuwait has been considered in response to its refusal to compensate for slant drilling, which is referring to what happened with the Gulf War. A German official has told Sky News a full or partial annexation of Poland is being considered in response to Britain's ultimatum. Every one of these reports should lead with, what Israel is brazenly saying it will do is a clear violation of international law. People were executed following the Nuremberg trials for this. Now, as the always courageous Ofer Kasif, the one anti-Zionist Jewish member of the Israeli legislature, the Knesset, puts it, he's been driven, by the way, from Israeli politics, which tells you all you need to know about the only democracy in the Middle East. As the world watches the Gaza genocide unfold before its eyes, the Israeli government sets its sights on the annexation of the West Bank. How does Israel plan on annexing a territory with over 3 million Palestinians while maintaining a Jewish supremacist state? It's simple, by facilitating a massive ethnic cleansing campaign. The occupation forces and the terrorist settler gangs in the West Bank, under the command of the messianic fascist freaks running the Israeli government, will work together to make Palestine Palestinian frei and create Lebensraum for Jews only, just as they are currently doing in Gaza. We must end this. Ban and boycott Israel now. It is the real interest of both peoples of this land for the sake of peace and justice for all. In Italy, that demand has been heeded. There is a massive general strike that has been called in Italy by grassroots trade unions in opposition to the genocide. There have been blockades of ports by dock workers. There's been mass shutdowns of public transport and schools, mass protests across the country. It is inspiring and heartening to see. This is, after all, a genocide facilitated by the West. It is our countries, including Italy, which have armed and facilitated genocide. It is up to ordinary citizens in the West to do all we can to stop one of history's great crimes. And Italian workers have shown all of us how it can be done. Here's another act of solidarity. The global flotilla is seeking to break the blockade of Gaza, Israel's deliberate campaign, of course, of starvation against the Palestinian people, a key plank of the genocide. The flotilla isn't designed to solve this crime, but to draw attention, above all else, to the heinous crime being committed by Israel in full view of the world. Last time, the Israeli state ridiculed the flotilla as a selfie yacht. But now the leaders of the flotilla warn that Israel is demonizing them as terrorists. They're using the language of terrorism. We know what Israel does to civilians, which it classifies as terrorists. This is a truly frightening development. And citizens and states in the West facilitating Israel's crimes must speak out before it's too late. Please like and subscribe, leave your thoughts and your comments. Help us take on the pro-genocide media at patreon.com/OwenJones84. We've got lots to come. At the moment, I keep telling you this, sorry if it's boring you, but I'm finishing my book, The Fall of the West. So it's difficult to juggle the videos as much as I like with that, but I will finish that book and I'm getting there. I've submitted most of it. And then I will just focus on this above all else. I'll have so much more time and we'll have so much more to do. So I'm very excited about that. So share the video and help keep the show on the road at patreon.com/OwenJones84. We've got documentaries to come at Labour conference, for example. Exciting. Speak to you soon.
Enjoy yourself in Liverpool, Owen. Can't wait to see footage from it and videos about it from you. Yeah, delightful. Christ's sake. I will say again, I hate my government. Well done, Italian workers.
In case you thought that RFK Jr. couldn't possibly get any dumber, yes, he can. The brainworm-addled whale-decapitating bear-murdering lunatic has come up with something even stranger, saying that Tylenol causes autism. Yes, Tylenol. Not acetaminophen, which is what Tylenol is actually made from, but Tylenol, the brand. Tylenol doesn't do anything that other acetaminophen doesn't do, because all Tylenol is marketing. Even if an environmental lawyer somehow knew more about medicine than every reputable doctor, which he doesn't, there are so many things wrong with this. Autism was first diagnosed before Tylenol existed. And while I'm sure there are tons of factors that could contribute to autism, marketing is not one of them. The accusation against Tylenol is that taking it while pregnant will cause autism in your baby, which is especially hard to believe considering they don't have any problem giving Tylenol to kids. What's really happening is they're attacking women. Pregnancy is extremely difficult and extremely painful, and you do need pain relievers. So what did they do? Attacked one of the biggest ones. I hope that Tylenol sues the ever-living crap out of RFK Jr. and whoever else has made this ridiculous claim. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to run. This whole thing has given me a giant headache.
That looks like maybe it's a bit gentle for your body. You like it quite hard.
Chronic pain sucks. Massive understatement. Now, there are millions of different devices that are designed to help you manage your pain, and some of them...
Thank you. Tylenol's paracetamol, by the way. And no, it doesn't cause autism. Thank you, Steve. We just have trying to think of brands, and I can't because we just go and buy generic paracetamol. You buy packs of either 8 or 16, and you're limited to buying 32 here. But yeah, pregnancy is kind of painful. I asked my mum earlier on when she called me, said, "Is there any truth to this?" No. Oh, by the way, Mum was the midwife for 38 years. Now, you can take paracetamol when you're pregnant. And yeah, paracetamol gets given to children when they're ill. I don't know where the hell he got that from. Maybe Tylenol will sue him. There we go. Back to the beginning. I would rather have people here for this one because I can bounce off Jessica. I probably don't have half these things, but I would say alternatives that I do have because chronic pain does suck. I've had chronic pain for decades. I get through it, don't worry.
That looks like maybe it's a bit gentle for your body. You like it quite hard.
Chronic pain sucks. Massive understatement. Now, there are millions of different devices that are designed to help you manage your pain, and some of them are now so mainstream that we've actually forgotten that they were disability products to begin with. As someone with chronic pain, though, I am fed an awful lot of adverts across the wonderful World Wide Web about things that should apparently help sort it out. Some of these wonder devices are actually helpful, and some are just junk that will fester in your drawer forever. So today, I will finally be making use of my literal decades of experience with excruciating pain to review some of the top-rated products designed for chronic pain. And you can trust me, I'm an expert. My ribs go in different directions and everything. I'm also going to be sharing some of my favourite things that I actually use for relief. Oh, and of course, just to make sure this is a fair test, I will be subjecting my standard-bodied wife to these potential torture devices as well. If you're new here, hi, my name's Jessica. I have 2 different genetic disabilities that just mush together to make...
I have this one. It took them decades to diagnose it in me. It's you took your time with that. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome are a group of rare inherited conditions that affect connective tissues. So that's the ones that connect like bones and muscles to different things in the body. Connective tissue as well. So there's lots of connective tissue across your body. So it's connective tissue provides support in skin, tendons, ligaments, blood vessels, internal organs, and bones. Mine's is mostly the connections to bones and joints. They need to do a full workup again for me, which will be happening next year. Don't worry, I will keep you all updated. I don't have HNPP. Thank God, because the way Jessica describes it, that's no. No. Thank you. So this is the NHS website that she's went to get definitions of these conditions. Anyone can do that. You just type in what you've been diagnosed with and it'll give you a rundown of what it is and how bad it can be.
Like me, it hurts quite a lot. You can find out more about that in a playlist that is going to be right up here. If you like videos that are educational but amusing, fun, but also talk about the deep stuff to do with disabilities, chronic illness, and LGBTQ+ history, then you are in the right place. I always talk about parenting because I have twins now, and a 4-year-old. Somehow he's a child. He was a baby just yesterday. If all of that interests you, then you can click the subscribe button down below, and you can find everything in this video linked in the description. Please try these supposed wonder products and let me know what you think in the comments below. If they work for you as well or not as they work for me. But first, what is chronic pain? Chronic pain is defined as a pain in your body that lasts for more than 3 months. It can affect any part of your body, and you may feel the pain all of the time, or it may come and go. It can happen anywhere in your body, and it has countless causes. My pain is joint pain, because they're not great at staying together. Muscle pain, because my ligaments aren't doing any of the work. And nerve pain, because they can't work it out either. Chronic pain is actually a very common condition, and one of the most common reasons that people seek medical care. According to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 20% of US adults experience chronic pain. In the UK, Public Health England reports 34% of adults live with chronic pain. It interferes with daily activities and can often lead to depression and anxiety, which is why it's important we have fun and do silly things like trying weird products from Amazon, because Lord knows we need to find the fun. But also, as I'm sure anyone with chronic pain can attest, when you are living with pain all day, every day, you're willing to try anything to not hurt. But you know what really hurts? Logging on to public Wi-Fi in desperation because you have a deadline, and then realizing, oh no, it's an open connection. Now your information is just there for the taking. Why didn't you turn on your Surfshark VPN to protect yourself? Oh, you don't have Surfshark? Surfshark makes online privacy effortless. And they're the sponsors of today's video. It connects, reconnects, and stays on guard 24/7, no matter where I am. Once it's on, whatever I get up to online stays private, which is very comforting because no one else needs to know about the deeply questionable things I purchased online at 3 AM while sleep deprived from having newborn twins and a 4-year-old. The best part, one Surfshark subscription covers your entire household across multiple devices at the same time. No juggling logins or blind separate accounts. It just works for everyone. I can't remember different passwords right now. And if you're on the free trial, you can actually even test Surfshark on 3 devices to see how easy it is. Oh, you were worried it's too expensive? Didn't I just mention a free trial? Well, it is less expensive than the identity fraud you're about to be dealing with. Also, the monthly price is very reasonable, and when you go to surfshark.com, Jessica, and use code Jessica at checkout, you get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN free. You don't think those are enough perks? Okay, did I mention that using VPN allows you to access geolocked content from anywhere in the world? Documentaries from the UK or reality TV from Canada? You're worried you'll change your mind? Well, Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so trust me, with the way you blindly join any and all free Wi-Fi, you need a VPN. I got the idea for this one from my sister-in-law. She likes yoga. Her ring thingy is much prettier than this one, I have to say, but apparently this is the best thing for cracking your back. Yoga Starter Stretching Balancing Wheel, rated 4.7 stars. As of filming, £18.32. That's a really random number. Roll around on this wheel to practice your yoga moves and relieve tension in your back. I don't do yoga, so try not to laugh. I don't know if I'm ready. Oh wait, My legs! I didn't think through my legs. Oh.
I think you need your legs to cross.
Oh, where should my head be? Oh my gosh.
I think you might just hang your head back.
I can hear so much cracking. How do I hang my head back? How do people hang their heads? Why can I not hang my head? And then what?
And then just hang there.
Then just hang here. It also feels a bit wide. Like there's not that much space between my shoulder blades, you know? Ooh. Oh. I don't love it. I don't think it's for me. There's just really not that much space. Should I be using some kind of bicycle tire? Right, Claudia.
I'll try it.
You go. Okay, Mummy's gonna go. Mummy's not wearing a microphone, so we'll be narrating her journey. Here she goes. Oh, she's going up. She's going over. How's your head already hanging back? What's happening to your head? I do not understand this head thing. Is that working? Have you made a bridge? Now what? Are you stuck? Hang on. I've got a baby. I'm coming. No.
Rejoice, the imagination scene is here. Hello. This is Jessica Kilburn-Fozard, and she's testing products that are marketed for chronic pain, which she suffers from and I suffer from. This is Jessica's wife, Claudia. Hi, Claudia. So it's this thing they're testing to help with chronic back pain. I'm sitting here looking at this thinking, holy fuck, that would hurt me. My back is dodgy as hell. It's £18.32 on Amazon. For a bit of plastic, really. But no, I will not be buying that. You alright there, Claudia? What the fuck?
If I kick it.
Oh, I think it's
Oh no.
Whoa. I feel like that's like potentially a bit dangerous.
Okay. Let's not keep that one. It's a hazard. So here we have a shiatsu neck massager. Shiatsu neck and shoulder massager. Rated 4.5 stars. As of filming, £29.99. It warms, it massages, it looks slightly terrifying. The thing is though, it has to be plugged into the wall to be in use, and the cable is only this long. Don't worry, I do have an extension cable. But also, don't worry, it comes with a car light plug, in case you want to use it in the car. Just, you know, plug yourself in, have your massage while you're driving. That doesn't seem dangerous at all. I may not have passed my test yet, but I know a dangerous thing when I hear of one. Apparently this also has a heating function. Well, that's not scary at all. Let's try it out. My most pained area is often my shoulders, so hopefully this works. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, this is very much a robot. Robot hands are coming. Oh, maybe I do like it. This is actually quite nice. It also has heating functions. Now, you're supposed to wear it with your hands through it, like this, like a very bizarre straight jacket. My shoulders are getting even more sore at the moment from carrying around two babies who are rapidly growing in size. I like it. It's sort of...
Rejoice, the resident philosopher has arrived. Nice baby. Check one of them. Cool. This one's very good. I've got a better thing. It is called Super Hubby. Plus I have to be careful with my neck and the top of my spine because it's out of position. So if I use things like this, I have to be very careful. I've also just got a manual rollers thing that I use when my shoulders aren't stiff. That doesn't feel right. Heat pads, wonderful things. They're adhesive. You get right on yourself, or you get Super Happy to put it on yourself. That's what I do. I have 6 of them in my house, of varying sizes. It does involve boiling the kettle though, but I'm usually quite safe when I'm doing that. They are a lifesaver for the knees and the hips. The support that I've got to keep my spine straight here that is attached, that I bought, it gets clipped around the back to keep me straight and to lessen some of the chronic pain. There is a heated one of those. This one was £26. And there's a heated version which is fucking 50. I ain't spending that money. So I use this plus hot water bottle and or lots and lots of blankets if it gets too cold. Because me and cold and damp, not a good combination. I see nothing has the new system. Oh, that's a ball massager. You use that. If it doesn't move, you use it to massage knots out your muscles. I don't have well, I do have the dexterity, but I don't have the strength to do that too long because my wrist is fucked. It gets really quite stiff. So I've got one that rolls. It's got kind of spines on it, it's little knobble bits all over it. And I use that to massage my leg muscles. I can't reach round to my back because shoulders rubbed. Probably yes, in America at least. If I need anything, I just go to my GP and say, can I get bathing or thing for this issue? And he sends me to orthotics and I get it. Like that's how I got my resistance bands to help build up my muscles for my joints. I also got my insoles for my shoes to help connect my feet point inwards and put pressure on my ankles and my lower parts of my leg, my calf muscles. It is painful when using the insoles because it's basically retraining the muscles out of bad habit. Seriously, I have shin pains when I'm using them if I wear them for too long, so I wear them for like 2 or 3 hours a day just to train my muscles back into being in my joints to be better shaped for my feet, better positioned and stuff. And when I start going into agony, that's when I take the insoles out. They can, as self-referral to physio. I've done the self-referral, I'm just waiting for the letter to come back. The waiting list for it is 3 months, so I probably won't get back in the physiotherapy until the new year. But I'm fine, I can wait. So since I last saw physio, which was during the pandemic, things have got worse. So they'll need to give me better exercise to do. And I'm not allowed to do it for my right leg because my leg fracture, got a broken bone in my right leg, and my right kneecap is still fractured, it's still healing. So I can't do anything with that leg. The left leg and my spine and stuff and my arms and shoulders, I should be able to get exercises for those. Fingers crossed. But £30 for that.
A bit painful on the areas that are painful, but I can feel like it's good. It feels good, like it's working. Oh, okay. And then I can make it go in the opposite direction. One of my babies is currently watching me like, what are you doing? And honey, that is a perfectly reasonable response. Hi. Oh, I'm actually going to give this a 10 out of 10. Claudia just says her life has also been changed because now she doesn't have to rub my shoulders anymore. Yeah, it has. This may have changed my entire family's life. Wow. Does it work on other parts of the body? Hang on. Oh, I'm so happy right now. Oh, this is so worth it. Why have I not had one of these before? You know that period pain when it just hits you like down at the top there and you're like, oh, yeah. I know we should probably move on to some other things, but also, this is so good. Okay, no, we must move on. We must move on.
Oh, what is this contraption?
Ta-da!
Oh, the ray gun. Theragun. That makes much more sense.
Theragun.
Yes, I get it.
Because it's a therapeutic gun.
Indeed.
Don't love it's called gun, but you know, there we go.
That's why it should be Theragun.
Claudia had speech therapy when she was a child. So did I, but a different type, apparently. Theragun Relief, handheld percussion massage gun. Yeah. Rated 4.5 stars. As of filming, £107.50. It's the most expensive thing I'm showing you. Give yourself a deep tissue massage with minimal energy expenditure. It's lots of words. Get to know your Theragun Relief. Percussive massage therapy. Ooh, there's a dampener. There are different balls. A dampener, a standard ball, and a thumb. A thumb? Doesn't need a thumb. I mean, it looks like it should be in a gym. Yeah, it looks strong, don't
It's better that it looks like it should be in a gym as opposed to like in a toy
Don't
shop.
say that. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Okay, right, here's the thing.
I'm a little bit scared. Does it need charging?
Do you need It does not need charging. Now I have to put this on my body? Like with my...
That looks like maybe it's a bit gentle for your body. You like it quite hard.
Okay, now we're on medium. It's a machine, Claudia. I'm terrified of the machines. Their eventual takeover of the earth. Am I using this right? Wait, should I be holding this in a different way? Ooh. Oh, that's very, I can feel all of my bones. Oh, that hit a bone. Oh, I'm very bony. I'm suddenly realizing I'm very bony.
Oh no, I guess
Whoa.
it is. I was going to say it would be better if I did it for you, but the point is it's meant to be a self-massage thing.
Very like, whoa.
How's your hand feel? Does your hand vibrate or not?
Weirdly, my hand is not vibrating
Well,
that
that's
much.
good, because that's what's really bad about those things, if it also makes your hand vibrate.
Why does it occasionally just...
I think because it's hitting a bone.
Terrifying. Please stop. Okay. What about this side? Should we try? Okay. I have had a migraine for the last 4 days, and my migraines are often brought on by tension in my neck because my neck's on backwards. If you didn't know, it's kind of helping, I think. As long as it doesn't hit a bone, it's quite nice. Oh, wow, it's really vibrating in my ears. I feel like my hearing aids are just going to fall out. Stop.
Hold and press.
It stopped.
The gasping noises in the background are our Gus. She's just having a feed.
Yeah, sorry. The gasping is the baby.
And yes, we do also have a baby called Theodora. She's just been asleep this entire video.
Yeah. We have 2 babies, promise. Just one of them silent. I think it feels nice. Maybe I have to wait until tomorrow and see if I wake up in agony. I do often have a delayed response to these things. Should I try it on you?
I'm just trying to currently birth a baby.
Well, yeah, but after that. I'm so aware, don't worry, that this is not the world's most flattering angle, but I'm now filming alone. There is a sleeping baby in this room. I'm doing my best. Many people swear by acupuncture. Yeah, can you see where this is going? Many people swear by acupuncture as a cure or help relief for their chronic pain. And my wife is a very big believer in acupuncture because her mother was an acupuncturist. So we have an acupressure mat. Acupuncture mat and pillow set. Rated 4.4 stars. As of filming, £18.99. Said to improve your circulation and relieve tension. This mat does the work of an acupuncturist. Apparently. Honestly looks terrifying. You are meant to do this on your bare skin, which seems terrifying, honestly. But yeah, so I'm going to try it first on my clothed back. Apparently this is one of those things where feeling the pain is good. I went to primary school with a girl who said that whenever she had to take a plaster off, her parents would stick her with a sewing needle because apparently that took her mind off it. All right, it was prickly, yeah. Oh no, I'm quite scared. I'm kind of used to doing painful things to my neck, weirdly, but not my lower back. So now I'm quite precious about my lower back. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I mean, it's making my neck feel red, hot, probably a bit sore. Yeah, I guess it does hurt, but it's okay. Maybe I'm just used to a lot of pain. Unknown. Okay, we're going to try the feet now. Whee! Okay, this mat is supposed to work on all areas. Ooh, of your body. Ooh, so I was going to say this is very similar to the ball thing, but actually it's way more spiky. Maybe a bit unpleasant, but does it leave me with good feelings afterwards? I don't know. Do you want to come stand on a spiky mat, wife?
Oh, what an invitation. Okay.
Come, join me. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm falling off the spiky mat.
What's it meant to do?
It's like an acupuncture. It's okay if you stay in one place, but then as soon as you move.
Really? You
Oh.
want to try it?
Tilly is not this stupid. Oh, wow. It makes the carpet feel so good afterwards. Step backwards onto the carpet. Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually its purpose, so that you then think,
Oh, yeah. Wow, we've got nice thick carpets. Would I recommend this product? No. It really hurts. It's quite painful. I mean, I have a new appreciation for our carpets and rugs.
I've had acupuncture years ago. It cost me bloody 60 quid when Super Happy was still working for Royal Mail. And as a treat for my birthday, he got me acupuncture. There was a really good clinic or place on Great Western Road, just down a bit from Botanic Gardens. So I went there for my birthday, like years ago, before he wasn't Super Happy, we were just engaged. And it was £60. I found out because he gave me the voucher without price on it, and I handed it over and they gave me a receipt back with suggestions for anything else, other ailments, because I was suffering from fucking horrible migraines. I still get them, but my migraines are stress related, so if I get too stressed, if I get too worried about anything, it causes really quite severe migraines. So I chilled a lot so I don't get as many. Yay! My cousin, who's a little bit younger than me, he gets auditory migraines, so noises affect him and cause splitting fucking migraines. So I'm not entirely sure acupuncture would work for him because mine's is basically built up in pressure from the blood vessels here. This is caused by sounds. So all the thing he can do, dark room, lie in your bed in a cold compress, oddly enough, and noise cancelling headphones, so he can't hear anything, and he has to lie down for a few hours to let it pass. Ooh, dark room and cold compress is what I suggest. Eye mask, because a lot of people get oral to visual things cause migraines for people. Basically, it's the pressure build-up behind the eyes and it's around the optic nerve and causes horrible. So the auditory ones just silence and darkness. But mine's just stress related, so I just need to calm down. And in this current geopolitical climate, I'm doing really well. I thought I would have had a migraine by now. Haven't yet. Woohoo.
They feel great now. They feel really good. I like them a lot more than I did before. But other than that, why? No. 0 stars. 0 stars from me. This is just torture, and my body gives me that enough. Oh, my feet still hurt. They still hurt. Next up, we have special warming product. Volnex Heat Pad for neck and shoulders. Rated 4.4 stars. £27.99. With 6 heat settings and 4 timer setups, your shoulders will be toasty and relaxed. It's also machine washable. This is a heated blanket, and it slightly scares me because my mother used to tell me a lot of stories about old ladies accidentally burning down their houses whilst using heated blankets. So there's that. I am the type of person whose body responds better.
Because the ones that you plug in and that you put on your bed to keep you warm and toasty, the electrics part of the wiring in these things was dodgy as fuck back in the day. And that's what happened with my mum, with her heated blanket for her bed, and her bedroom got burnt down. She got insurance payout for it though, thankfully. And they found the culprit was a heated blanket. Because it was old and she'd got it from her mother, my gran. So her bed got buggered. Her windows and her curtains, which our bed was pushed up against, the entire wall, and our bedside cabinet with everything in it. The carpets up to about the door to the bedroom, and she's got a mirrored wardrobe, built-in wardrobe, and all the mirror got hacked from the heat. She had left it on and it went out for the day, so this happened during the day. It didn't burst into flames when she was sleeping, when she was in bed. But the bedroom got absolutely fucked. It looks nice now. So the redecoration went well. That was a few years ago. She's got a brilliant bed. The bed in the back bedroom when I go up to say hi to everyone is super, super soft. I need a firm mattress because if it's too soft, I sink into it. And when I wake up and move or get up, I'm in screaming fucking agony. And I said to her, swap the beds, please. And she just looked at me. I'm not doing that. I love my bed. The bed the Housing Association gave us is really quite soft as well. The mattress, that is. And I sink into this fucking thing. And when I have to get up, screaming agony all over again, especially in my back and my hips. I need a harder mattress than that. God damn it. Harder mattresses are expensive though. My younger sister, suggested I get a temper one. They're brilliant. Do you have £1,500 spare to give me? Again, she just looked at me. Rub catnip on things, that might work, and they'll fuck off. My niece's cat, who stays at my mum's house, because the bed in the back bedroom, where the one I stay in when I go up, has drawers. The divan has drawers in it, and one of them is always kept open, and there's like a cat bed and little bowl for treats and stuff. So she hides under the bed, but when I come up, she sleeps next to me. I am the only person she does that with. Thank you, Kira. Just tell your cats to shoot. True. And good luck trying that.
To heat, then to ice. You know, when you get an injury and everyone's like, put ice on it, put an ice pack on it. No, 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 my friend, no. I find that does not work for me. Heat works for me. All right, here we go. Looks pretty easy.
Heat works for me as well. I can't do cold because of my Raynaud's, and that's why you sometimes see my hands go really fucking white. They have went purple in the past, but if they go into the next stage, which is black, that means things are dying. My toes have nearly went back to deep, deep purple because of my Raynaud's. Used to happen more frequently when I was a little girl, and when I came back home from school, I would put on the electric fire in our living room, and I'd take one of the cushions off the sofa and sit in front of them, taking the chill and the damp off me. And my mum used to grab me by the scruff of the neck. Don't fucking do that. And she goes and gets me a hot water bottle. Don't do that. Me numpty. Because I was in danger of developing chilblains because of the dampness. If heated me up too quickly in the dampness, it changes how the blood works and stuff, and the blood vessels. It just yoinks me. I used to cry at her for doing that to me, and I know I shouldn't have been doing that because I was a wee numpty back then. Here, hot water bottle wrapped in 2 pillowcases to make sure that I don't do that to myself with the heat.
Straight out of the box. Let's get ready. Oh, it doesn't come with anything I can use it in the car. Won't be able to be super dangerous the way I want to be. I'll just have to burn down my own house. Oh, that is an absolute joke. Please, universe, don't burn down my house. Wow, foiled by poppers. She's doing well. It's actually quite stylish. I actually don't hate it. Okay, on is a timer function. It does 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. Kind of waiting for the heat. It's on level 3 right now. I do run my baths at kind of boiling level, so this is something I would maybe wear in the evening, except I have to be attached to a wall, so it seems impractical. I don't sit still very much. This is me sitting still right now. I sit still to film videos. I guess that's my sitting still time. I don't hate it. I look like a warm vampire. I drink your warm blood. I like it if it had more of a massaging function but I like it. It's okay, it's good, yeah. Is it a baby toy? No. Is it a dog toy? No. Even though those are both things you would find in our house. 3-pack hard spiky massage ball roller set for deep tissue massage. Got there eventually. Rated 4.1 stars. As of filming, £7.99. Use your body to roll it and give yourself a massage. This is apparently...
I haven't managed to get them out yet. They're in a box in the bedroom. I keep on saying to Super Hubby, can you take them out? And he just says, not yet. I'm not going through those boxes in the bedroom. They're going to have to wait. So I've got them. They don't have those colours. I've got like a purple one, pink one, a blue. Fucking hell. Bisexual pride flag, anyone. I really am stereotyped at times. They're really good. I don't have that long one. That kind of one. I've just got classic ball ones. And I mostly use them on my hips and my knees. Oh, maybe that's why he's saying he's not digging them out, because I start using them on my right knee and my right leg. Can't risk that. Might reopen the breaks in my leg and my kneecap. Can use it on my left leg, I suppose. And my back. But the bits that are sore, I'd never be able to reach, so he'd be doing. There's another reason why he's not digging them out, because if he does dig them out, I would get him to use it on my back. He's already got a lot on his plate. Aha! I've seen through your deception, Super Hubby. So they're in a cardboard box in the bedroom. Well, knowing my luck, it'll be in the bottom one at the back corner with 8 others piled on top of it. Or 3 more piled on top of it, and another 15 surrounding it. God, that's going to be it. Plus, fucking 10 board games on top of the boxes. Fucking hell.
To help
quite
with
good.
my nerve pain in the bottom of my footsies.
From a comrade 1, Canadian philosopher Nil. Do you class him as a philosopher? I kind of do. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought Kev done better. When we watched the video last week at some point, I was sitting there disagreeing with President Sunday, unfortunately. So he's either, I assume you've been on his channel, so either if they reach a certain amount, skip to theory or skip to drama. I like that function. I like that bit on his channel. Depends what sort of mood us chatters are in. I've watched some of his drama ones. I tried to avoid internet drama. I've watched Tippy Dippy with Kev on it, which is delightful fun dealing with some of the outright nutters that Hippy Dippy used to get. What did you think of what President Sunday was saying? I was he tries to be a philosopher. The way he takes digs at philosophy tube and ContraPoints, I can get them. And obviously Abigail and Natalie? I used to watch Philosophy Tube back in the day. But it's been a while. It was her link on one of her videos that I joined Nebula, so Curiosity Stream plus the Nebula package, which was bloody hell, a decade ago? 8 years ago? Decade ago, I think. So it's her code that I got the deal, which was I paid £13 a year for it, for the connection for Curiosity Stream and Nebula. I miss not being able to watch Tom's videos on Nebula. Like Boomers. That looks good. But obviously we can see the rest of Tom's work on YouTube. The reason I had to stop Curiosity Stream and Nebula was because it went up to £33 a year and I couldn't afford that. Yeah, I was agreeing with them on that one. What do you think of Philosophy Tube? Don't get me wrong, some of our videos were bloody amazing back in the day, but we're talking years ago now. I'll go and take a look and I'll show you the ones that I actually liked, which were fucking ages ago.
Those things at the ends of my legs that hurt a lot when I walk. There's a big nerve that runs under the bottom of your feet. What's up with me today? Feet. And it hurts a lot on me, a lot of the time, especially when I've been walking. So apparently this will help stretch it out. And the fact that it's spiky is a good thing. I don't know. Is this good? Is this good? I'm not sure about okay, the sideways dog bone one. Not loving? Ooh. Okay, I don't actually have to balance on this, right? Okay, yes, I can feel the stretch. I can feel the stretch. I'm right now learning to drive. 2-hour driving lessons are difficult for me. Maintaining focus and attention over 2 hours is a challenge. I'm only legally allowed to drive an automatic car because I have foot drop in my left foot, so I can't raise it to press down on a clutch. I'm sure the Americans are like, well, that's easy, right? No, most cars in the UK are manual, but we do have an automatic car just in the off chance that I might actually pass my test. So I should probably be more enthusiastic about the possibility of passing my test. It's just that I've failed the darn thing 8 times now. I just don't know how I feel about this.
Oh.
As promised, my number one best thing for chronic pain, if you have pain in your shoulders, neck, jaw, head, this kind of region, is this beautiful whale pillow. It looks like a whale's tail, that's why I call it a whale pillow. When I feel a migraine coming on that's sort of set off by my backwards neck and associated shoulder pain, I just lie down on this fabulous piece of hard foam, and for some reason it just hits exactly the right spot. It does make the back of my head go numb, and I have no idea if that is actually its intended purpose or good, but it's amazing. Highly recommend. Let me know if you try.
Does everyone hear that? Do not open the curtains, just. Oh, you can.
Try it out, and if so, what do you think? I put the link in the description down below. Let me know as well if you try out any of the other products in this video. Again, I've listed them all with links in the description. I mean, of course, I should mention that I did buy these products from Amazon, and I have put those links in the description, but you can get them from different places around the internet if you are not an Amazon fan. But also clicking on those specific links does make me a small amount of affiliate money, and I have 2 newborns to pay for, so thank you so much for even just clicking on the links. Thank you also for watching this video, supporting my channel, and being such a wonderful community. Remember, new people, to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can find your way back through the YouTube algorithm. Share my channel with your friends, and if you would like to actively support the channel, then you can click the join button below to become a member of the Calgren Rosard Club, a membership club here on YouTube with a private library of over 80 videos. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, then of course clicking links always helps. Like the Surfshark link in the description that takes you to surfshark.com/Jessica, where you can use code Jessica at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. A good deal for everyone. Thank you again for joining me as I try new things. Would you like to see more videos like this? Let me know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Thank you, Jessica. Ooh. Let's go to my eye bleach. Thanks, Jessica. Some videos. It does, doesn't it? Look at this.
Hey guys, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. If this is your first time stopping by, hello and welcome, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm making traditional Scottish tablet. The only thing I can actually compare this to would be fudge, but unlike fudge, it's not chewy at all, and it's quite crumbly. Kids absolutely love this stuff, and it's so sweet. But I mean, you don't need a lot of it, just a wee chunk will do. You don't want handfuls of the stuff, or you.
As you're about to say, it's basically fat and sugar. I use golden castor sugar to make, well, I've got a stock pot essentially, and as the numpty that I am, there's stuff that gets stuck on the edge of the pot, and I broke it off and I shoved it in my gob, forgetting it was boiling fat and sugar essentially, and scorched my mouth. Numpty. So you pour it out once you've mixed it all together to a certain. Really should have a sugar thermometer which goes up to higher temperatures. But we just judged it by eye and how it feels when you're stirring it. I want to see how she does it. Carry on, lovely lady.
Absolutely vibrating. So guys, this is what you're going to need if you want to give it a go. You're going to need 2 pounds of castor sugar. Yeah, that's a lot, but like I said, it's so sweet. A tin of condensed milk, around 370 grams, it doesn't need to be exact. A teaspoon of vanilla extract or essence, a quarter of a pint of whole milk, full fat milk, and 125 grams of unsalted butter. You don't want salted butter, just get the unsalted. So let's go over to the cooker. So the first thing you want to do is melt your butter in the pan. And to that you want to add your milk and give it a wee spuzz round, and add your condensed milk as well. And once that's warmed up, just throw your sugar in. And also your butter. So basically everything goes in till it's all melted, but keep back your, don't add your vanilla essence, keep that back. So that's the sugar going in now. Just give it a good mix round.
Indeed.
This is one of those things you really do need to keep an eye on. And I've decided to add some cinnamon today. I don't normally do this, but for some reason I just thought I'm going to add some cinnamon.
Sacrilege. Bad. Cinnamon is the work of the devil. Do not ruin Tappet in such a fashion. Cinnamon makes me, so I don't use it. If I was to put anything into Tablet to flavour it, it would probably be mint. It's Scottish Tablet, but she's already fucking ruined it. Cinnamon in it. Wrong. I would put, like, you'd put vanilla in it, or mint. Mint, yes. Mint good. I make a kick-ass dark chocolate and mint mousse. Wow. It's been a while, actually. Mousse is expensive and rather difficult to make. But I'm skilled. I used to make lots of desserts and stuff and sweet treats. I love Tablet, but I've got really fucking toothache if I eat anything that is overly sweet or overly cold. So ice cream sets me off. I suffer from neuralgia, which is a horrible, sharp, biting nerve pain in your mouth. The nerves go into your teeth. So I have to be careful what I eat, sweet-wise. So I have to be overly cold or overly sweet, which basically Tablet is. Why did you put cinnamon in it? What the fuck, woman?
Just to see what it's like. I've never done this before, but it worked out so well.
Ruined.
It was delicious. Now this is after about 15-20 minutes. You want to keep it on a low heat for about half an hour or 35 minutes, and it's just going to keep darkening. But you'll know when it's ready when it starts to have wee sort of, it looks like the surface of the moon is the best way I can put it. But like I say, guys, you just want to keep an eye on it. You need to keep stirring it because you don't want it to burn, because there's so much sugar in there. It's got the, there's a high chance of it burning. So you need to stay with it. Don't walk away. It's a bit time consuming, but it's worth it in the end. And this is after about 25 minutes, and it's starting to look like caramel. And at this stage you just put your vanilla essence in after about half an hour, or vanilla extract. I think it's got a few different names actually.
Ah, essence is man-made. Extract is from actual vanilla. I've used vanilla pods, which is rather expensive of me to do, but it's fucking awesome. And I'll say again, she's ruined it because there's cinnamon in it. Ruining tablet in such a manner. My granny taught me how to make tablet fucking decades ago, but I'd forgotten how to do it, so I downloaded a recipe and printed it out up at my mum's. It is still in one of our folders in a box over there now. It's in the living room, not in the bedroom this time. In a box. I know exactly what box it is because it's a clear box and I can see the folder. My God, I could bribe people when I go out canvassing tablet. All told to make the amount that I usually make with the 2 pounds of sugar and things, the condensed milk, and I use Gold Top, which is really, really rich. It's a step up from whole milk. And that's what I used an entire bottle of that, which is a litre. I could bribe voters with tablet to vote green.
And you can see it's getting lovely and thick there. It's only got about another 10 minutes to go.
Careful, don't let it burn.
It's so smooth.
It doesn't taste right.
That's the advantage of, you know, staying with it and stirring it as well, because you're going to get that lovely smooth texture. So the next thing you want to do is pop it into a stand mix. This is my Kenwood Chef. If you don't have a stand mix, you can use a hand blender, it's fine. But if you're interested in one of these, Argos have got a fantastic deal on at the moment. It was £330, I believe, and it's now down to 200. So that's quite a bit of a saving. I mean, they're not cheap, guys, but they make light work of this kind of thing. So you just want to mix it for about 5 minutes.
I go whisk, put it in, it goes. It's bad in the wrist. I get him to do that bit. But you're looking for it to be smooth. Just when it's in the pot, you're looking for it to be smooth and not got crystals in it, which is basically the sugar not fully dissolved or caramelized yet. So when you're stirring it, you can feel it getting less and less gritty, essentially. So I use a hand whisk with that. I did used to do it myself before my God, I actually gained the motion starting now. Fuck. I cannot afford to get one of these things. Which says they are expensive. So you can get ones that are like 100-ish, all the way up to like 500 for a standard mixer. But they're essentially for professional kitchens, I believe, not households, unless you're running a business out of your house, and you can expense it.
I'm going to link the mixer down below in my description bar in case you're actually interested in buying one. Like I say, 330 quid down to 200 is a really good saving. So I will link it down below if you're interested in buying one. Well worth investing in because they do. I mean, they come with lots of different attachments as well. They've got a bread hook and they've got the balloon whisk like I'm using here. They've got 4 or 5 different attachments. So they're fab. So once it's been whisking for about 5 minutes, and you can see it sort of coming away from the sides like that. I mean, it's really thickened up now. That's when you know you're ready to put it into your dish. So I'm using a loose bottom tray here, which makes it really easy for when it sets. You know, if you've got a loose bottom tray, you can just pop it out very easily. So you just want to put it into your dish. You can use any dish you like. And just sort of press it down with the back of a spoon. Try and get it as compact and smooth as you can.
Oh, shavings meat.
And it's going to take about an hour to set, just over an hour, depending on how thick, you make it. Just give it a wee pat down with the back of your spoon to make it nice and smooth on the top. And if you like as well, you could take a palette knife and put it in some boiling water and smooth it over the top, if you like a nice glazed top. But I quite like the rustic look, of how it is naturally.
Right.
So I actually made enough for 2 pans, because the pans I'm using are quite small. But if you're using a bigger pan, then you probably wouldn't need to make 2. So this is it after about an hour and a half, and it's completely set. You just want to run your knife along it and just to sort of cut it into squares. Like I say, guys, I'm using a loose bottom pan, so you basically just pop the bottom out, and it's so easy. And you just slide it off. Oh my goodness, so easy. And then you just go ahead and cut your squares out. Easy peasy. And it's absolutely fabulous. And that's it all cut up. And I just store this in an airproof container until it's needed.
Traditional apple.
So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for popping along again and seeing what's going on. As I keep saying, but it's true, I really appreciate you popping by. So I hope to see you in the next one, and take care.
That was amazing.
Like this. We'll get in your car and you'll need to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat. And then one bright night when every
Hakeem Jeffries voted to approve Charlie Kirk's Remembrance Day before he endorsed Saran Mandami. That's it. That's the post.
Stop.
beep 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 beep.
Oh.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh my god. Can I find it? I love this one. It is so fucking funny. Okay. Parrot. Sneaking. Please be the one I'm thinking of. Please, please. Oh, there's the parrot. Oh, it's Shelby the macaw. Shelby, I fucking love you. That was amazing. When I first found this was like a couple of years ago, maybe last year. And I just watched it on a loop for like 10 minutes, just sitting there laughing my head off. It's fucking romantic. Carry on, Shelby. That was just fucking stunning. Lyrebird. If you see the one you're talking about, just tell me to play. Mimicking? Oh. I was going with funniest ones. It's astounding, isn't it? Wow. Oh my god.
So this video might get me in trouble with some people, thinking that I'm upsetting the natural order of things, but I can guarantee that no animals are going to be upset through the process of this project. This is a project I thought of about 10 years ago, and now that I'm living back up in these forests, I'm going to bring it to life. That's not a kookaburra. That is a superb lyrebird. So it has the ability to mimic, impersonate anything that it hears and replicate it perfectly. Oh, so cool. I'm going to come up into this part of the forest near my house, and from a safe distance I'm going to play AC/DC guitar riffs a couple of times a week for a couple of weeks, and I want to see if they add that into their call structure. So cool. Black cockatoo. It's not a black cockatoo. So this video might get me in trouble with some people, thinking that I'm upsetting the natural order of things, but I can guarantee that no animals are going to be upset through the process of this.
Who's he?
So this video might get me in trouble with some people, thinking that I'm upsetting the natural order of things, but I can guarantee that no animals are going to be upset through the process of this project. This is a project I thought of about 10 years ago, and now that I'm living back up in these forests, I'm going to bring it to life. That's not a kookaburra. That is a superb lyrebird. So it has the ability to mimic, impersonate anything that it hears and replicate it perfectly. Oh, so cool. I'm going to come up into this part of the forest near my house, and from a safe distance I'm going to play AC/DC guitar riffs a couple of times a week for a couple of weeks, and I want to see if they add that into their call structure. So cool. Black cockatoo. It's not a black cockatoo. So this video might get me in trouble with some people, thinking that I'm upsetting the natural order of things, but I can guarantee that no animals are going to be upset through the process of this project. This is a project I thought of about 10 years ago, and now that I'm living back up in these forests, I'm going to bring it to life. That's not a kookaburra. That is a superb lyrebird. So it has the ability to mimic.
Kookaburras are annoying apparently. Before I met him years ago now, Super Hubby went and visited his sister who lives in Sydney, and he heard a kookaburra. He actually saw one of the battles and the loudest walking up bleachy and stuff. He said it's quite a unique noise and how loud the bastards are. Fair enough. Let's go back to my watch later, and we'll find some more items after I'm done with the horribleness. This might be considered a cleanse. Take it away.
On Starmer, certainly it's not just him. It is this Labour project, right? It wasn't just him that made the decision or pushed for Mandelson, for instance. It's not just him that pushed for the welfare cuts that ended up in complete disaster and have caused even more rifts within the Labour Party. And actually, in some ways, I wasn't surprised. I mean, everyone knew about Mandelson. I mean, yes, there's more depth that's come out, but everyone knew about this. They decided that they admired him enough to forgive that. I mean, what does that say about their moral code? And it's entirely consistent.
Do you blame Keir Starmer for that? Are you blaming those around him?
I blame Starmer as well. I mean, he gets to make, he's the final decision bearer there, right? But there's obviously the people around him. That's the people that have been going along with this project. It's completely consistent with, you know, a moral code that brings the president of Israel here last week, you know, that is reluctant to put more taxes on the richest. You know, it's a very different type of Labour Party. When we talk about the Conservatives and reform, I think there's a bit of delusion here in terms of what's happening in our political system. It's that people no longer trust Labour or Conservatives. They see them as the same old thing, not delivering for people. You know, yes, of course, you can say it takes time on policy, but people have been waiting a long time for change. People have been struggling in so many ways, and they've seen their public services crumble, and they want that change. They're not seeing it coming. And so they are looking to other parties. And actually, you know, we talk so much about Labour and reform, but Labour, the British election study last week showed that Labour is losing twice as much votes to the left, to the Greens and potentially a new left party.
Like it or not, there is a massive banking collapse ahead of us unless urgent action is taken. What's the reason? Climate change is the reason. There is no way around a banking collapse worldwide unless we begin to take climate change seriously very soon. Why? Because banks lend on the basis of security that they demand, which is charged on properties, and vast numbers of properties are not going to be suitable for the purposes of providing that security sometime very soon in the future, because they're going to become uninsurable, and as a consequence, banking is going to collapse. Let's just explain this. Banks don't take risks. I know they like to pretend they do. In their advertising, they try to pretend they're entrepreneurs and they're the friends of business, and they'll go out of their way to help you to meet whatever demands you might have. But the truth is, banks hate risk. So when they lend, they try to lend with what is called security. That means that they take a mortgage over a property to guarantee that the loan that they've made to you is going to be repaid by them having the legal right to claim ownership of a property that is currently yours and to then sell it if for any reason you default on payment to them. That's how they lend. You might call a mortgage a loan, but as far as the bank is concerned, it's a legal charge over your home, which means that they can sell that home if you don't keep up with the repayments. And it's this structure, lending on security backed up by mortgages, that makes the banking system around the world work. And that's not just for homeowners either. It's also for businesses. They, in the vast majority of cases, are lent to by banks on the basis that there is an asset that the bank can claim, whether that be property, in most cases occasionally something else, or the personal guarantee of the owner of the business, very often also backed up by a mortgage on their home. So this is how banking is. Let's not pretend otherwise. Over 85% of all loans in banking in the UK is backed up by a mortgage. How does the role of insurance come into this then? Well, In theory, of course, you don't need to insure a property which is going to be used for security, except, well, the bank insists that you do, because it wants it to be there, of course, because if it isn't there for sale in a condition that is saleable, they've got no guarantee that they'll be able to recover their money if you don't pay them. In other words, insurance is critical to reducing the bank's risk once more, and they therefore insist that you will insure a property if you borrow on the security of the property in question. You will be familiar with this. If you have a mortgage, the bank will require evidence that you have got the property insured. Very often, they'll insist you buy their insurance to prove that's the case. The point is that all over the world, more and more properties are becoming uninsurable. We've seen this because of flood, because of fire, because of earthquake, because of excessive heating, and because of drought. All of those are creating massive risks for the insurability of properties. And without insurance, property is worthless for banking purposes. And it's climate change that is in every one of those cases making insurance impossible in areas where it used to be easy to obtain. Just think about it. Fire in Los Angeles has made buying new homes in that city with a mortgage virtually impossible. Sydney in Australia is seeing an increased number of wildfires, as are other cities in that continent. Southern Europe, Greece, France, Spain are all seeing fires breaking out all over the place, and they are threatening the security of properties and so of insurability. Flooding is becoming more commonplace, including in the UK, and areas that were previously unknown for flood risk are now facing real problems. In particular, central London has a massive flood risk issue if the Thames barrier is not enlarged, and very soon. And it will take a very long time for any such enlargement to take place, because there is now a very serious risk that it could be overwhelmed by floodwater sometime soon. That would wipe out Docklands, it would wipe out the centre of London, it would wipe out, according to bankers I've spoken to, the vast majority of the security available to them for the commercial property lending that they make. And we're even seeing this problem in places we would never have imagined it before in the UK. There have been wildfires in Scotland. There's been a wildfire in North Yorkshire this summer, and that's putting real people's homes at risk of being uninsurable for a new threat. We've already had flood, and many people in areas that you wouldn't imagine, the Trent Valley, for example, the Severn Valley, for example, have faced this problem. But now we have fire risk too. And so far, the government hasn't reacted, although it has on flood risk. We then have to look at the new issue, and that's heat and drought. And the problems are just escalating. The issue is uninsurable properties in ever larger numbers will mean fewer and fewer mortgages being available in the future. But it also means that existing loans will become unserviceable in effect, because there won't be any insurance on them, and the risk in bank balance sheets will go up. And then the problem is that when bankers realize that every bank's balance sheet has vast numbers of assets on it which may be of no value at all, they all stop lending to each other. That is exactly what happened in 2008. In 2008, in the USA, banks stopped lending to each other because they had no idea what the real value of the mortgages on other banks' balance sheets were, and therefore they stopped interbank lending. The system ground to a halt. It followed here almost immediately, and we have, as I've already noted, got this problem in the UK, but it's in Germany, it's in France, it's in Greece, it's in Australia, it's in all sorts of countries around the world. The failure we face is not particular or individual to any one area or to any one bank. The failure that we face is systemic. And bankers, I know from conversations I've had with some of them, have been suggesting, don't worry, we'll be able to dump all our risky properties onto somebody else well before the crisis hits, because there are some stupid bankers out there who will take anything. But that's just naive. It's even stupid. The fact is that this risk of insolvency will hit simultaneously. Everybody will suddenly realize, and there will be some trigger event. The fire in Los Angeles hasn't been it so far, but it's the warning sign. It's the John the Baptist to the coming of Christ, if you like. bit of a fetched metaphor, but one that works in this case, that says this is real and it's going to happen. And when banks collapse, what we get is a liquidity collapse. In other words, there's no money moving in the marketplace. And when payment systems collapse as a consequence, and they could, then supply chains fail. And when supply chains fail, there will be no money to pay your supermarket. And you have, in all likelihood, got no more than 9 meals in your whole house available to be cooked now. You will be in crisis when this happens. Without banks, daily life will grind to a halt. No payments, no mortgages, no credit, no food supply.
What the fuck? So yeah, when you take out a mortgage, you have to have building insurance, which say if your house burns down, you're covered. You get money back to build the house again. But if you can't do that because of climate crisis, so there's great swaths of housing, buildings, not just homes, other buildings as well. Parts of the UK are built in floodplains. And as rivers rise, more flooding happens, these houses will be uninsurable because they will get damaged. So we need to deal with climate crisis, with the climate, or nothing will be insurable, and that's what will cause this collapse. We are not the silent voice. We are literally saying just fucking divest from fossil fuels, do renewable. We cannot let this happen because buildings across the land, across the globe, will be uninsurable because they'll get damaged, and the insurance companies will need to come paying out. And the mortgage lenders start crying. But mortgages, it doesn't really matter. You're the ones that are actually helping feel this as well. Literally ignoring it is against your best business decisions. But I'm not listening.
Everything at risk. No reward for work because somebody won't be able to pay you. This is how close to the wind we are already sailing when we know that the entire underpinning of the balance sheets of every bank on which we are dependent to keep our payment system working is at risk. Society has put itself in jeopardy, and at the moment everybody is pretending with their heads in the sand, which might just be another of these climate risks, that everything will work out all right. I promise you, it isn't going to. There is no way on earth that banks are going to be able to pass the parcel. The central bankers are still doing that. They're pretending that this risk doesn't exist when they're undertaking their risk analysis of these entities. But the fact is, the problem is growing exponentially. All over the world, it's growing exponentially, which means it's getting faster and faster, in other words. So doing the type of risk analysis that the banks are doing, which by and large looks backwards and by and large looks at past risk as an indicator of future risk, is absurd. It's just getting worse. Denial is not a strategy, it's negligence. Climate risk cannot be ignored in banking. So what must be done? We must recognize that uninsurability is now a core systemic risk in banking, and it ceased to be peripheral. Is now at the forefront of everyone's concern. We must work out who is most at risk, and for that purpose I suggest that we use sustainable cost accounting, my method of accounting for companies at risk of the impact of climate change and how we appraise the consequences. We have to plan for alternative forms of banking before the current system collapses at the same time, because governments must be ready to replace failed banks. If they haven't got that contingency in place, we're in deep trouble. And for that reason, We have to create public banking for public need and not private profit. I said this very loudly and clearly in 2008. I said at that time that we had made a massive error of judgment by allowing banks' payment systems on which we all rely and which are therefore core state infrastructure, on which we are utterly dependent, to be in private hands, when without it the state would fail to function. But nothing has been done since 2008 to put matters right. We cannot survive climate change unless we change our banking system, is my point. We need to change our models of lending. We need to change our models of insurance. We need to recognize that the current system is broken, and we need to build resilient financial systems now with public backing to ensure that society itself will not collapse when our banks do. But unless we take action, that is an almost certain outcome, because they cannot survive in a world where properties are uninsurable, and more of them are moving into that category. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do click the like and subscribe buttons, because they do genuinely help us spread the word on YouTube. As importantly, could you have a look at the section below this video where it says more, and there you'll find a link to my blog. And if you follow that for the specific link to the blog entry related to this video, you'll find a transcript of this video and lots of other related material, plus a ChatGPT prompt that you could use to write a letter to your MP on the contents of this video, which will turn you into a campaigner, which will be a great thing to do. Finally, if you do appreciate the work we're doing, can you think about giving us a donation? If you'd like to do so, there's a link below, or you can find one on my blog where there's a Ko-fi button saying, please buy me a coffee. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.
The Commission concluded that Israel has committed genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza, and that it is continuing with that genocide.
Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
It's official. Israel is committing genocide in Gaza.
Damn right.
That's what the United Nations have declared today, confirming what we've all known was going on for 2 years, as the pariah states have killed hundreds of thousands, over a third of them children, and displaced the entire population of 2.5 million, destroyed or damaged nearly every single building in the region as well. The charge sheet goes on, with deliberate starvation and measures intended to prevent births also on the list of the pariah state's heinous war crimes.
It is now almost 2 years since Israel launched its military campaign in the Gaza Strip in October 2023. This has been the most ruthless, prolonged, and widespread attack against the Palestinian people since 1948. Every day that passes, the killings and the starvation of the Palestinians continue.
Entirely by coincidence, only the countries who are most complicit in this genocide, the United States and the United Kingdom, continue to deny what's blindingly obvious to everybody else on the planet. Marco Rubio made another desperate appearance in front of the press to try and imply that Hamas holding 48 hostages makes them the bad guys in a scenario where almost 700,000 people have been murdered as a response. Innumerable others have been killed in the 80-year occupation of Palestine.
The reality of it is we still have 48 hostages. We still have a Hamas that is not only holding 48 hostages, they're holding Gaza hostage, and they're using civilians as human shields. There's still a dangerous element, and as long as they exist, as long as they're around, there will be no peace in this region, because they are not agents of peace, they are agents of barbarism. And it's still a fundamental fact that the people of Gaza deserve a better future, a future which is not possible until the hostages are all released and Hamas no longer exists. All these fundamentals still exist. They all still have to be addressed. And that's what we're going to remain focused on as we engage with our allies in the Gulf.
Using lines straight out of Netanyahu's mouth, he seems to think that any action is excusable simply because Hamas exist. Legally, of course, that's not the case. He also fails to explain how or why Israel refused ceasefire terms that included a complete return of the hostages, as well as Hamas offering to step down from governments that were put forward as early as November 2023. Israel have had what they wanted on the table several times and then trashed the ceasefire talks so that Netanyahu can perpetuate his maniacal plan for wider control of the region and cling to a political career that's hanging by a thread. The UK tried to keep itself on the right side of history by declaring there wasn't a genocide happening in Gaza last week, even though RAF spy planes supposedly sent to look for hostages would clearly be able to identify that there are war crimes taking place, including how the IDF have used weapons prohibited under the Geneva Convention. But as revealed in this shocking committee hearing yesterday, Defence Secretary Luke Pollard says that we choose to look the other way.
If there's an opportunity for the government to make an assessment of what is happening in Gaza, when all of us are denied that because we have no media feed about what's happening, the UK actually has an opportunity to determine or assess what is happening from those flights, and therefore the government has an opportunity to do that, which would actually be very helpful then in determining whether a genocide is happening in Gaza.
It's difficult to go further in answering the question due to the fact that we don't routinely comment on intelligence matters.
What?
If there were additional taskings placed on those aircraft beyond just hostage rescue, I think the ability of those aircraft to be able to deliver those activities would be more constrained. So as a result, it has been the clear policy of this government that those aircraft are only and solely used for hostage rescue, and we don't provide any other data or collect any data beyond hostage rescue.
Liar. Fucking liar. There. It's lies from the British government. Again, thank you, Declassify UK.
We're looking the other way. We're looking the other way.
Absolutely shameful, I'm sure you'll agree. The country's official stance reeks of guilt and denial, as we've clearly been aiding and abetting Israel's regime the whole time. That's a fact Pollard and David Lammy will be more than aware of, but the money that they receive from the lobbies seems to be enough for them to put any morals that they have to one side and deny the mass murder taking place every day in Gaza. The BBC are as always there to try and water down their reporting on illegal events. Today, for example, they tell us that Israel are carrying out a military offensive in Gaza without bothering to mention that this is a war crime and treating the story as if they were updating us on the celebrity landscape gardening project for daytime television.
Israel has heavily bombed Gaza City overnight, with unconfirmed US and Israeli media reports suggesting the ground offensive to occupy the area
illegally
has begun.
It frankly revolts me to the core that my own country are having their Wizard of Oz don't look at the man behind the curtain moment, while the truth of our complicity has been laid bare for all to see. Other countries who know that denial isn't just a river in Africa have started to act more appropriately, putting proper sanctions and full trade embargoes on Israel, as well as declaring no Israeli citizens will be granted entry into their respective countries. Several European states are even refusing to take part in the next Eurovision Song Contest, should Israel be allowed to take part again. These are the things that the UK should be doing, but chooses not to. Keir Starmer should be utterly ashamed.
A siege is appropriate? Cutting off power, cutting off water?
Well, I think that Israel does have that right, does have that right.
What do you think about this official assessment from the United Nations, and does this now mean that the end is nigh for Netanyahu and Israel's disgustingly criminal activity? Please let me know in the comments below. As always, your feedback's much appreciated. Thanks a lot for watching to the end of the video. If you'd like to help the channel out a little bit more, then please consider signing up as a member. For only 99p, there are some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content, early viewings, plus lots more, and you get to join the list of awesome people that you can see on your screen right now. Follow the link to join in the video description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel. Or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where
Oh, who's that name at the top? Don't worry, I credit Lefty with down when I use his videos. Thank you, Lefty. And everyone, if you're not already, go and follow my left eye. He is awesome. He is Mancunian.
you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again, everyone. My left eye, I'll be seeing you soon.
Right, so I've got a bit of big news to share with all of you lovely folks who tune into this channel on a regular basis, because at the end of this month, a whole host of left-wing alternative media journalists, activists and general mouthpieces, yes, yours truly is involved in this as well, are joining forces to offer 2 full days of breaking left-wing news, content and analysis. All of this will be coming to you live from Liverpool, where full professional studio has been hired, along with all the equipment, all of the tech staff, all the bells and whistles, live streaming a proper alternative to the bore fests that will be dominating the mainstream news agenda over those same few days, the 28th of September through to the 1st of October, namely Keir Starmer's Labour Party conference, also coincidentally taking place in Liverpool at exactly the same time. Well, however did we manage that? He should tune in. He might learn something, assuming he's still Labour leader by then, of course. Though if he's not, he'll have even more time to listen and see if he can work out where he might have actually gone wrong. We are going to be hosting segments on immigration, on Palestine, on what remains of our right to free speech in this country as the police arrest pensioners with placards instead of fascists, on the weaponisation of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. We're going to be talking about the NHS. We're going to be talking global economics. We're going to be talking the rise of the far right, on standing in solidarity with the most vulnerable in our society as our government persecutes them, trade unionism and the future of its relationship with Labour. We will be talking about building alternative media and the value of it in cutting through mainstream dross that does nothing to inform, and so much more, not least of which the latest breaking news stories getting given our collective analysis. Leading the proceedings, we have a veritable who's who of left-wing media as your presenting team, consisting of the likes of Squawk Box's Steve Walker, the Canary's Steve Topple. We will also have filmmaker and Palestine activist John Graham Davies, journalist Tina Workman, the legend that is Crispin Flintoff fronting things, along with myself, leaving the cosy confines of Cornwall as I will be, to chair a debate or two as well. The guest list, however, is off the charts. So let me just whet your appetite by reading off a few names here. Audrey White, Asa Winstanley, Kit Clarenberg, Alexei Sale, Martin Abrams, Craig Murray, Chris Williamson, Tig Hickey, Bonnie Craven, Nico Sergo, Dr. Bob Gill, Stephen Kapos, Colonel Chris Romberg, Helen Marks, Rika Berg, Rathi Guhadison, Ian Hodson, Jenny Manson and more still to be confirmed and announced in the days to come. This event is going to be broadcast live on YouTube, on Rumble and Facebook on the 29th and 30th of September, 12 till 9 p.m. More details can be found on the Your Show Facebook page and the website yourshow.uk. As you can imagine with such an undertaking though, and of course without any of those wealthy backers who would absolutely hate for this broadcast to be a success, who prop up mainstream media discourse, if you would like to make your own impression on your show and help towards the cost, there is a fundraiser. I've attached a QR.
These people. Thank you, Scribby. Much appreciated. I hope you have fun in Liverpool, Demo. Can't wait to see it.
QR code to the end of this video, which you can scan and help out in that regards if you
I
can
wonder
do
if
so
he's
without
driving up.
hardship. Let's put on a more informative show than Starmer's sorry shower of a conference will ever be. Do watch, do support. Your show really is your show.
Thank you, Demo. I'm open to suggestions, everyone. Oh, I promised Specs when I was talking to him yesterday. Legend. Liz. Savile Roberts. Oh, bring it. Thanks, Specs.
On May 14, 2025 there was a heated PMQ's battle in the House of Commons, Keir Starmer versus Liz Savile Roberts, in a showdown over the Prime Minister's principles.
Hang on, I'll go back to that. That sounds like an AI voice.
On May 14, 2025 there was a heated PMQ's battle in the House of Commons, Keir Starmer versus Liz Savile Roberts, in a showdown over the Prime Minister's principles. Liz Savile Roberts, a senior Plaid Cymru figure, who has been an MP since 2015, introduced a spiked Commons question under the veneer of politesse, which clearly rankled the UK PM. She alluded to the fact that his political views seem to change with the wind, and appear wholly dependent on what his focus groups advise him, rather than based upon long-held political principles. Specifically, she quizzed him, is there any belief he holds which survives a week in Downing Street? A clearly rattled Prime Minister gave a response unworthy of his office, that she was talking rubbish, a response which was, slightly surprisingly, left unchecked by the Commons Speaker. Blue Bench Briefings mentions this in a video, not to align with the political views of Plaid Cymru, but simply to highlight an excellent recent episode, of a seasoned parliamentarian calling out the changeability of a national leader, in a role that, above all, requires principles, morals, and consistency of belief. It is worth noting that, subsequently, the Prime Minister has apologized to the member for his inappropriate comments. We appreciate that acknowledgement from the PM. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a future briefing.
Let's see if there's other ones.
Very grateful to him. Considering that the government promised in 2016 to save 3,000 unaccompanied refugee children from Calais, is he not concerned that the numbers who have actually been saved stand at around 380? And if those promises can be broken, and amongst those children will be many from Afghanistan, is he concerned that the promises made today may be as unrobust as those?
Let's see, other ones. Are there any recent ones? Oh. Well, I can read some better ones.
Prime Minister once spoke of compassion and dignity for migrants and for defending free movement. Now he talks of islands of strangers and taking back control. Somebody here has to call this out, Mr. Speaker. It seems the only principle he consistently defends is whichever he last heard in a focus group. So I ask him, is there any belief he holds which survives a week in Downing Street?
Yes, the belief that she talks rubbish. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Unparliamentary language. The Speaker is meant to admonish him for that. Hoyle, you wank. You're meant to admonish no matter who it is. Don't fucking care if it's the Prime Minister or not, or anyone on the cabinet benches. You're meant to admonish him for that, for saying that to another MP. Keir Starmer, you suck. Fucking ridiculous. See? Yeah. Do we need any more evidence really to get rid of this bastard? The clock is ticking here.
Mr. Speaker, I think last week I was overly rude, and I apologise.
It seems the only principle he consistently defends is whichever he last heard in a focus group. So I ask him, is there any belief he holds which survives a week in Downing Street?
Yes, the belief that she talks rubbish.
Given his recent tendency to dismiss the views of others, what would he say to his younger self?
Mr. Speaker, I think last week I was overly rude, and I apologise. I do respect the honourable member. Mr. Speaker, I think last week I was overly rude, and I apologise.
It seems the only principle he consistently defends is whichever he last heard.
Ooh. Ah. Excuse me. Rejoice, comrades. Razor is here. Hi, Razor. There's still going on about Muzzle in the Can. What else have we got here? Oh my god. It's been oh, only 2 days ago. That's pretty nice.
Hi guys, it's been over 10 years since Scotland had an independence referendum, and so much has changed since then. We've seen a change of monarch, we've seen Conservative prime ministers come and go, we've seen Brexit, of course, we've seen austerity, we saw a pandemic, we saw the powers in Westminster change on so many occasions. So the question has to be asked, how can Scotland have another referendum? And a Tory peer, somebody who donated £150,000 to the political party, was asked, and he set his own criteria. Have a listen to this.
If these ideas are good, can we take them on and stop arguing about ideologies and work out how we make Scotland more prosperous? That's the only thing that matters to me. What was that guy? Was it Harry Truman that said, you know, it's amazing. You can change the world if you don't mind who takes the credit, right? Yeah. If these are good ideas, can we just get on with them, and can we gather around them, and can we make Holyrood a place of intelligent conversation, of challenging thought, of curiosity of mind, where, you know, where everyone's not thinking the same? What it said, when everyone's thinking the same, no one's thinking, right? Can we please have Holyrood become almost like a laboratory of ideas, of innovation? Let's try it. Oh, it didn't work. Well, let's try something else, see if that works. To me, that is what Holyrood should. Holyrood's got all the power at the moment to do that, but instead is obsessed with this continual wrangle about the Constitution, and it's obsessed with this continual ideology. The only way to sort something out is for the state to spend money.
But let me come in on the Constitution point, because this frustrates me somewhat as well, because the SNP get labelled of obsessing over independence. Well, who knew? That was what the Scottish National Party believe in. But fundamentally, for that conversation just to stop, that discussion, that back and forth, there needs to be an agreed process. There needs to be an agreed process from the UK government that says, if this metric is met, we will have a referendum. And then that allows the space for the conversations that you want to have take place in earnest.
Well, I would say to that Alex Salmond got his referendum because he earned the right to get one, right? He won a majority in Holyrood, and he ran a good administration on the whole, and he was able to demonstrate that he was able to create, that there was growth. I mean, if you look at the growth rate of Scotland under his administration, it was a higher growth rate, right? And it was an 84% turnout, Jeff. I mean, that is the highest turnout. I mean, people around the world were studying this in political science all over the world. This was the highest turnout of any vote except Australia, where it's compulsory to vote. So the Scots were engaged in this conversation. 3.6 million of them voted, 2 million to stay, 1.6 million to remain. That is a decisive result, and Salmond knew it, and that's why he made his comment about that's for a generation, right? Now, you know, if I had been Alex Salmond and I'd got the vote from 30 to 45%, I would have been entitled, I think, to say I'm handing over to Sturgeon, she can get it from 45 to 60%, right? And you're part of that journey, but that hasn't happened. And that hasn't happened because we've had a government which has not been interested in growth, and we've had a welfare economy with flatlined. And guess what? The polls are flatlined. So therefore, it's not. You can't have the conversation because you haven't earned the right. You know. So my view would be earn the right to do it.
You earn the right. So this is insane. So you have a Tory peer telling the Scottish government, you don't have the right to have a second referendum. I thought it was a union of equals. It's not very equal if somebody has to go begging to the...
Oh, Max, it's not a union of equals. They treat us like dirt. That's why people like me exist. It was supposedly meant to be a union of equals. It fucking isn't. We get governments we don't vote for. Mind you, this time, last year, the last general election, people went back to Labour because they believed Starmer. I didn't. I voted SNP last year, by the way, because I liked my SNP MP. I thought she was doing rather good work for us. And now we're back to Labour, and my current Labour MP, I really don't like her. Her voting record fucking stinks. She's literally following the party line on everything. Ugh. God, these Tory peers, I fucking despise them. You shouldn't exist. The other place is undemocratic. That's the House of Lords, by the way, the other place. 21st century, we need a second elected chamber, please. Already 8 years it.
The UK government saying, please, can I have permission to have a referendum? And the Tory government at the time and now the Labour government say, well, you don't meet our criteria. And our criteria is you need to have a booming economy, you need to have this, you need to have that. Once again, I ask this question, can you imagine asking Brexiteers or telling Brexiteers that the EU said, no, you haven't met our criteria to leave the European Union. You have to meet certain standards. You have to have a booming economy. You have to have low unemployment. You have to have all these. Notice that his rhetoric is directed at the SNP government, at the Scottish government, not the Scottish people. But it's the Scottish people that would decide to leave the UK, not the Scottish government. The Scottish government facilitates that process, but it's not the Scottish government that decides it. So he's denying the Scottish people because he has contempt for the Scottish people. I can't come to any other conclusion. This guy cares nothing about the Scottish people because he only cares about holding on to some sort of power. He doesn't want a change in the status quo, probably because he's doing quite well out of this because of low taxation on wealth or low taxation on land in Scotland. Because if Scotland became independent, that situation would change. You would probably see a wealth tax, and very rich people in Scotland would end up having to pay their fair share. They're not paying it, of course, at the moment because of the situation decided in Westminster. You know, when they keep saying, well, if Scotland is doing well, well, it's because it's part of the UK. When Scotland is doing badly, it's because of the SNP government. But in reality, we know that the government in Scotland does not have complete and utter control. It doesn't have control over income tax. It doesn't have control over immigration. And the Scottish government has been crying out for more workers in the care sector and in the NHS. And the way the NHS operates in Scotland is very different to England. You have many more remote areas, so it's more difficult, more expensive to facilitate healthcare in those areas. It's more difficult to provide social care in those areas. The situation is very different. And all you hear from Westminster is, well, the Scottish government is doing badly. It's not meeting our standards. Once again, listen to the rhetoric here. His anger, his rejection is directed at the Scottish government, saying, you must meet my criteria. And he's ignoring the Scottish people because he has contempt for the Scottish people. They're not important in his view. It's the Scottish people that should decide the referendum. Once again, the government facilitate that. But I have to put this question out to Scottish Unionists in particular, but Unionists in general. What is the criteria for Scotland to have a referendum? And if there is criteria, another question. Is the United Kingdom a union of equals? Because it certainly doesn't feel like that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks, Max. That was good. These Tory peers are, especially the ones, the unionists up here, they irritate the life out of me. That video from OSP is actually quite good. Yeah, that one's quite fun. I'll show that one. OSP. Scotland. Ah. There we go. Oh.
This video is brought to you by Audible, which is a wee bit ironic, seeing as the Scottish language is damn near inaudible. Around 2,000 years ago, Scotland was inhabited by various tribes of Pictish. In researching this video, I very quickly learned a valuable lesson about how little the Scots mess around. Okay, I thought, the Scots and the English hate each other, sure, but it can't be that bad, honestly. So I took a little peruse to see how many times the two actually fought each other, and sweet Mother Mary, that is a lot of stabbing! Scotland, who hurt you? Trick question, England. So be warned, the Scots throughout history are every bit as bonkers as they come across on Twitter. To find out why, let's do some history.
I am no longer on the hillside for obvious reasons, but yes, we are kind of mental at times, especially when people irritate us. Don't tempt us. Just don't. And we're really good at swearing. Really quite masterful use of language. We have to be.
This video is brought to you by Audible, which is a wee bit ironic, seeing as the Scottish language is damn near inaudible. Around 2,000 years ago, Scotland was inhabited by various tribes of Pictish Celts, living up north, herding, and minding their own business. So when the Roman Empire swaggered up to try and conquer them, they gave those Romans a walloping so bad that Emperor Hadrian built a wall just to make sure that nobody ever tried to conquer them again. Essentially,
I just don't think you can do this one. I've been an assassin for a while now. What makes you think that, oh, get that shit out of here, you're right.
So even though these original Celts weren't anything like modern Scots, it is refreshing to see the national character demonstrated so well at such an early stage. Rome eventually collapsed, but Europe reintroduced itself to Scotland via Christianity and Anglo-Saxon migrations, which coalesced through the 7th century into a few main groups. For our purposes, the most relevant two are the Picts and the Scoti, where we get the name Scotia, aka Scotland. In 843, Kenneth MacAlpin united the Scots and Picts in order to create the Kingdom of Alba. The early kingdom had to deal with the Vikings and the English in the 8 and 900s as land from every corner was getting yoinked. But beyond outside threats, there were also constant internal fisticuffs over the crown. The quintessential example of the early Scottish king is Macbeth, whom hereafter shall be referred to exclusively as MacBoy because that play is haunted and I'm not looking for trouble. Trouble is...
Wait, don't fall for that BS. Macbeth. A lot of us Scots get kind of irrational about that, and just whenever anyone changes it to the Scottish play on McBoy or whatever word use they've got, we kind of yell at them saying it's called Macbeth for a fucking reason. A play isn't haunted. Christ's sake.
Nearly everything you might know about him from Shakespeare is wrong. Here's why. See, the Scottish crown didn't follow a strict succession, but claimants came to debate who was best fit to rule, and this caused constant disputes that escalated into wars. So MacBoy actually killed King Duncan in a battle in the year 1040 and ruled for the next 17 years peacefully, generously, and successfully. In 1057, he died in another battle against Duncan's son Malcolm Canmore, who then assumed the throne. All that stuff about murder conspiracies got added by Scottish historians centuries later, but civil wars over the throne were already a matter of protocol since the kingdom had gotten started. MacBoy's real-life path was actually quite standard. But speaking of wonky royal succession crises, the next decade brought the Norman conquest of England, and William the Conqueror's second son Henry married King Malcolm's daughter. The family relations are confusing now, and they stay that way for the next 1,000 years, so I'm gonna try to avoid specifics where I can for the sake of my sanity, but the bottom line is that the King of Scotland exchanged notes with his sister the Queen of England about culture and statecraft. So in the following 2 centuries, Scotland picked up some Norman tricks, like a central bureaucracy, a church hierarchy, and a curious new language derived from the Norman French, called Scots. The native Gaelic was still the dominant language in the Highlands especially, but the Lowlands trended slowly towards the customs of their anglicized southern neighbours. The 11 and 1200s saw a steady back and forth between Scotland and England along the borders in Northumbria, but not a whole lot of drama. Until, however, the King of Scotland died in 1286 without a clear heir, and rather than have all 13 possible cousins duke it out the old-fashioned way, they called in the English king to mediate the dispute, which...
Not happy with this bit of history. We invited one of the worst kings that England has ever had. He was called the Hammer of the Scots for a fucking reason. He is cruel and a massive fucking bully, and basically stomped all over our Scottish culture and stuff, and basically tried to subjugate us, but we rebelled, obviously. as you see.
I don't know, seems like kind of a short-sighted and terrible idea. Unsurprisingly, King Edward installed the weakest, most pliable puppet who would let him treat Scotland like a vassal state. And when even that pushover got fed up with forfeiting Scottish land, paying tribute, and kneeling to English superiority, King Edward invaded Scotland, dethroned the king, and yoinked the Scottish coronation stone back to Westminster, dragging Scotland firmly under the English heel. This was, frankly, terrible, so the Scots duly rebelled against England under the command of the famous William Wallace, who won a victory at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297, but lost horrendously at Falkirk the next year, and was later executed by England and paraded around Scotland in pieces. Quick fun fact, of the many reasons that the movie Braveheart sucks, the blue war paint that everybody's wearing is about 1,000 years out of style for the Scots. I mean, come on, that kind of anachronism is like dressing the cast of The Godfather in togas. It was after Wallace died that Robert the Bruce took up the mantle of Guardian of Scotland. He had to kill a rival claimant to earn his title, but he also earned an excommunication from the Pope because apparently murdering somebody in a church is impolite.
He murdered someone, sorry boy, I just have to correct this, in a chapel. Remember, Protestantism didn't exist then, so it was Catholic, so it's they are called chapels up here in Scotland and in Ireland. They are a chapel. A church, or a kirk, is Protestant, which we don't see for a couple hundred years yet. Sorry, Blue. I have to pull you up on that one every time. I can't remember if I've put it in the comments or not. I probably have. It's called a chapel. Sorry, Blue.
And a mortal sin. Pfft, whatever. He was defeated early by Edward in 1306 and went into hiding for a year before returning to win the Battle of Loudon Hill. From there, he stomped out local rivalries and united Scotland fully against the English at the decisive Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Though the treaties weren't signed for another 15 years, Robert the Bruce won Scotland 3 centuries of independence in that battle. Quick OS pro tip, skip Braveheart but watch The Outlaw King. It's better and way more accurate. So having fulfilled his dreams for his kingdom, Robert died the next year, but this was exceptionally poor timing and really unfortunate in the long run because the throne passed to a series of useless kings from the House of Stuart for the next several decades. Through the 13 and 1400s, Scotland had no real leadership, so the local lords started throwing hands, or more accurately, claymores. In this case, the warring states were actually the dozens of clans scattered across the lowlands and highlands. Mercifully, England...
Claymore, or claymore, is a big fuck-off sword. They are huge, and if anyone remembers Forged in Fire, that's one of the challenges they sometimes give to the contestants to make a claymore. Not a claymore, it's a two-handed sword and they're fucking heavy. I've held one, I haven't fought with one. I don't have the upper body strength to use a fucking great sword. I'm more katana or an epi, so lighter, better balanced sword, not a fucking dirty great big claymore. Or claymore. Claymore is a mine. It's anti-personnel mine. It's a modern thing. A claymore is the great sword that we used to use back then. Be wary if you ever want to try and fight with one of these things or learn to fight with one of them. They are heavy bastards and difficult to wield. Just give me my katana, please. They're easier.
Had just gotten sucked into the 100 Years' War with France, so Scotland was free to be its own antagonist the way God intended. And although the Stuart clan still held the crown, other families like the Douglas clan were regularly challenging them for land and power. Some progress came with King James I in 1406, who sent 12,000 Scotsmen to fight with France against England in the 100 Years' War, winning big and returning home in a strong position to consolidate many of the clans under his crown and reform the kingdom. Unfortunately, he got assassinated and it was right back to the seesawing balance of power between kings, regions, lords, and clans. Even after James, the Highlanders still largely spoke Gaelic and paid little heed to the culture or politics of the anglicised royal court in the lowlands. The king could say whatever he wants down in Edinburgh, but unless he personally marches up to Inverness to tell Clan Fraser in person to pay their taxes, it's not going to happen, and one king even tried that, but still nothing happened. It's just all very Game of Thronesy for a couple centuries, and I mean heck, it's at this time that the War of the Roses is raging on just down the street. And you know what, since it's just a big mess anyway, I'm gonna speed round through the next 300 years, so bear with me and let's get ready for a game of Monarchy is Volatile! Let's meet our players! One king was really cool and helped reform the government to work for more of Scotland while making Edinburgh into a Renaissance capital of learning and culture. One queen got the short end of the stick when Scotland's parliament voted to convert to Protestantism while she was on vacation in France, and then she got the shorter end of the stick when England imprisoned her for 2 decades and then executed her. Her son played his cards just right and inherited the throne of England from his cousin, the childless Elizabeth, and then became king.
See that? The way they put it, James VI and first, that is the correct way of doing it. So when people say James the First, we get kind of irrational. He was our king first. So it's James VI and first. Sorry, bit of a hobby horse for that one. Well done, Blue. But he knew that Scottish people, Scottish members of the OSB community would get on to him about it. So he preempted us, which is probably a good idea, actually. And I know I thanked him for that. Put it in the comments. Well done, you got it correct. James the Sixth and first. And I gave him a round of applause. Credit where credit's due, after all. Oh God, Charles the First. He doesn't do well. Neither does his son, oddly enough.
King of England and Scotland. His son was so inconceivably bad at being king that his abuses of power brought England and Scotland into open rebellion for entirely separate reasons, and his reign ended with the British Isles locked in 12 years of civil war before everybody called a do-over and gave the crown back to his son. One king became king because Parliament literally invited him from the Netherlands to replace their current monarch, and then he proceeded to strangle Scottish trading rights.
He is called Sweet William. In England, he is called Bloody William up here because he is a Dutch bastard. Nothing against the Dutch people, just him. He literally was one of the worst kings that they got invited in, and not by us.
And the last queen on our list tried to be a pal by offering Scotland a national union with England to open up trade avenues in exchange for the bargain price of nearly all of their sovereignty. I'd originally gone way in depth about how all of this stuff went down in my first draft, but then I realized, you know what? Royal politics is dumb and confusing, and I kind of hate it more than anything else in history. So I'm gonna skip through it. Yeah. So I did. One standout event from the mid-1500s is when the King of England tried to drive a wedge between a long-standing alliance between Scotland and France in the hopes to endear Scotland to their southern English neighbours. They did this by pillaging the lowlands.
It's called the Old Alliance. And obviously you've seen that we've had a sort of kinship. Mary Queen of Scots is technically French. Her mother was French, maybe Guise. So she was French, so she was basically going to visit family when she went, then got captured by Elizabeth I of England. So Queen Elizabeth, the one that died, the more recent one, she was called Elizabeth I, but she wasn't the second for us. She was the first Elizabeth for us, because she wasn't a fucking queen. Fun fact about Scottish royal history. She's the first Elizabeth we've had.
And burning Edinburgh to the ground. You may find that this is a bad way to make new friends. The Scots came to call the 7-year campaign the Rough Wooing, as they did not appreciate being bullied into love. And this sentiment persisted for centuries, way up until the Act of Union in 1707. Scotland was suspicious of the Queen's offer of partnership, and while they'd get one metric British Empire out of the deal in the long run, the immediate result was England deciding they now had a constitutional right to treat Scotland like a colony. As you can see, this is kind of a recurring problem, and it led to 2 revolts for Scottish independence in 1715 and in 1745. Both failed, but the second one spooked England into being slightly less despicable about everything. In the next century and a half following the rebellions, things turned remarkably for the better as the Enlightenment came north. Writers like Walter Scott and Robert Burns helped rekindle the Scottish identity, and thinkers like Adam Smith and David Hume radically changed European perspectives on rational thought and economics. Hume claimed that reason was the core of human thought, and Smith described the benefits of letting people act in their own self-interest. This all sounds very profound, but don't be fooled. The clear Scottish subtext to these ideas are, the English don't make a damn lick of sense, and we'd be better off making our own decisions. And you can't expect a Scottish Enlightenment thinker to not bury snide comments at England under 2 tons of hard academic theory. Though Scotland had long been an educational powerhouse, in the following 2 centuries they also became the industrial heart of the British Empire, producing such famous doodads as the steam engine, the telephone, radar, a mechanical television, and also most of the ships in the Imperial Royal Navy. Nice.
There's a phrase that we use up here. Lads like us, damn few, and they're all deed. Because Scottish ingenuity.
Other happy beneficiaries of the 18th and 19th centuries were the cities of Glasgow.
I'll decode that for you. Who is like us? Damn few, and they're all dead.
And Edinburgh, which built up substantially in the Georgian neoclassical style, and they just look really damn pretty. Funny thing about the Edinburgh Castle is instead of firing off 12 cannon shots to mark the passing of noon like the English do, they just wait 1 hour and save 11 rounds. That is so Scottish. Quickly approaching the modern day now, Scottish attitudes towards the Union grew more suspicious as England seems to care less and less by the decade about what happened up north, and the hard-forged British identity faded with time.
Your bum's out the window, England, a lot of you. Your backside is hanging out the window. Senior, nobody's essential. Scottish culture is a lot older than English or UK culture. Obviously, the UK is younger than Scotland, England, Wales, and Ireland. Yeah. I love that phrase, it's fucking amazing.
And the decline of the British Empire. After years of campaigning, Scotland gained greater autonomy and the right to hold their own parliament in 1999. And the first words spoken there were, quote, "The Scottish Parliament, adjourned on the 25th of March, 1707, is hereby reconvened." And if that is not some big Scotland energy right there, then wrap me in a tartan plaid and throw me in Loch Ness, because I dunno know what is. Now, if you want to jump into the tumultuous world of medieval Scottish murder kings, then you've got to go for Shakespeare's Macbeth, and one of the best ways to do that is with today's sponsor, Audible. With an astoundingly huge catalog of audiobooks to choose from, Audible is the world's leader in cutting out the middleman between an author's ideas and your brain. Red and I do a lot of research on this channel, so it's great for me to be able to listen to history while I'm taking a walk or just making dinner. And of course, I've got to mention my absolute favorite feature, speed control. Sometimes you want to go fast, and sometimes you want to really slow down and enjoy a scene, so Audible lets you listen at your own perfect pace. Audible members who sign up get a credit for any audiobook completely free every month, as well as additional discounts in the store. If you're feeling jazzed about Scottish history, I would highly recommend this audiobook production of Macbeth. Not only is it some of Shakespeare's finest work in my opinion, but it's voiced by a full cast, which is really great to listen to. And Audible is offering all of you a 30-day trial and 1 audiobook along with 2 free Audible originals to get you started if you sign up with our link on audible.com/overlysarcastic or text overly sarcastic to 500-500. If you do, you'll be supporting the channel and getting a good audiobook in the process. Again, if this sounds like something you'd like, head to audible.com/overly sarcastic. Thank you for watching. Now, you should know that the temptation to do this entire video in a thick Scottish brogue was too high. I cannot tell you how close I was. Seeing as I am half Scottish, it's only fair that I should sound the part. So I hope you enjoyed this look into the history of Scotland, and I'll see you in the next video.
Oh, love it. I'm feeling quite good. We might carry on. I'm at the cheer. Ugh. Feels like I might need to start using my oil again. My wax build-up is rather quick, and it does get cleaned up quick in there. Oh, I'm going to audiology because of the genetic disorder I have. I might have a predisposition of going deaf at some point when I'm older, so they're going to check. Don't worry, I'll let you know how I get on. And on Saturday, I'm going to get an ultrasound of my bladder and kidneys to see if they're misshapen or anything. Also connected to my genetic issues. I have to have a full bladder for an hour and a half before the ultrasound. So my appointment's at 3:25 in the afternoon on a Saturday. The bus that I get goes up to the hospital I'm going to, which is Stokehill, which is up in that direction, up there. So I'm going to have to get a bus at 8:22, an hour and a half before my appointment, and just I'm going to have to make sure that my phone's fully charged so I can watch YouTube videos or go onto someone's stream on Saturday afternoon. That'll be fun. Might have a coffee. Will I do it? I have no idea if I can find a decent channel to explain what Greater Israel is. Fuck it, I'll try. Oops, wrong way round. Let's see if I can find a decent channel to cover it. No, oh no, I'm not going to the Young Turks. Go away. TRT World? That might be a good one. It's only 2 months old. Yeah, I think TRT World's quite decent.
To the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years.
Oh, how original. You might be wondering, why does this message sound familiar?
I have a message for the people of Lebanon. Israel's war is not with you. It's with Hezbollah. For too long, Hezbollah has been using you as human shields. I want to use this opportunity and speak to the people of Gaza. Heed the warnings of the IDF, of the Israeli army. Leave your homes to the places where you were told to go. Leave. Don't stay there, because Hamas wants you to die. And you shouldn't die for Hamas. They don't care about you. But we want you to be safe.
That's because you've heard it before. This is not the first time Netanyahu has addressed the citizens of other sovereign nations. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu has been doing this over the years consistently and strategically. His playbook is pretty much the same each time. Blame the terrorists, say you're bringing democracy, and frame yourself as a savior before launching devastating bombing campaigns, killing civilians, and wreaking irreparable destruction.
When Netanyahu addresses the citizens of other nations such as Lebanon or Iran, he's doing so for a number of reasons. I think he's engaging in what we would call psychological warfare, causing fear and anxiety among the people he's about to attack, to weaken them, to demoralize them and turn them against their governments. But at the same time, I think he's appealing to Western leaders, Trump, and to politicians in America particularly, and the lobby, the Christian lobby. He wants to appear reasonable. He wants to appear caring, warning people. Therefore, he is not responsible for deaths and injuries caused by his actions.
But why is Israel democracy suddenly being violently exported to Iran without provocation? Because the real goal here is neither peace nor democracy. It's based on Eretz Yisrael, or Greater Israel, a Zionist fantasy of expanding Israel's 1967 borders way beyond what international law recognizes and into the sovereign territory of Israel's neighbors.
Oh, but I do believe that is Theodor Herzl, seen as the father of Zionism.
Law recognizes and into the sovereign territory of Israel's neighbors. An ethno-nationalist dream of a historic Jewish homeland stretching from the Nile to the Euphrates, regardless of who lives there today. It's not just a fringe idea, it has quietly shaped Israeli right-wing policy for decades and serves as the blueprint for occupation, invasion, and annexation. And Netanyahu seems to have emerged as the face behind this plan, with his actions aligning perfectly and destructively with this vision of territorial expansionism.
The Greater Israel plan goes back to Theodor Herzl, to the very beginning of the creation of the Zionist movement. The idea that they would have Eretz Israel, this is the land of Israel, and the land of Israel, according to their calculations from the Bible and from their conception of what it was, stretched not just to the historic territory of Mandate Palestine and to what's now called Jordan, also to Lebanon and Syria and most of Iraq and part of Egypt.
Look at that madness. Excuse me, sorry about that. So, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. 7, and well, 8 if you include Palestine. Just taking, 8 parts of Turkey. What the fuck? Mental.
To Lebanon and Syria and most of Iraq and part of Egypt. It even stretched up to part of Turkey.
And the way it's used today is to provide a religious justification for Zionism, for colonialism, for, if you like, Western imperialism in the Middle East. And it's an exclusive claim, meaning that they believe that the land was given exclusively to the descendants of Isaac as opposed to the descendants of Ishmael. Incidentally, Israel is also the only country in the world that's never defined its borders.
But where did the Greater Israel idea find its major backing? Let's rewind to 1996, when a group of US neoconservatives, many of whom would later serve in the Bush administration, wrote a little policy guide for Netanyahu's new government. Its title, A Clean Break, a new strategy for securing the realm. This wasn't just a policy memo. It was a guide on how to take over the Middle East, with Israel as the dominant force, and everyone else preferably weakened, divided, and subservient to the US-Israeli realm. The Clean Break strategy had a few key takeaways. The first regarded Palestinians and gave them no land and no state whatsoever. And judging by the ongoing genocide in Gaza and the complete siege of the already occupied West Bank today, things seem to be going according to the paper's plans. The second strategy was for Israel to grow so powerful that the world can't stand up to it. The goal was to make Israel immune to international pressure. So whether Israel is committing war crimes, building illegal settlements, or flattening neighborhoods in other countries, it doesn't matter. Israel is above the law. And while world leaders might condemn Israel's actions, no one will or can actually stop them. The third was destabilizing and weakening Israel's enemies, meaning pretty much all its neighbors. The plan specifically named Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, all seen as obstacles to Israel regional dominance and therefore direct Israeli targets.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
The way it's played out is very, very simply that Israel's approach is what we would call the carrot and the stick. With Western support, particularly from US support, the carrot is used for countries like Egypt and Jordan, which receive significant amounts of funding from the United States, to buy them off from criticizing or pressurizing Israel. In fact, Trump quite recently has been trying to persuade Egypt and Jordan to take Palestinian refugees from Gaza, and has threatened to use the finance he presently gives as a leverage. Other countries get the stick. That's Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Yemen. They get the stick rather than the carrot, because Israel's agenda is basically to destroy or divide and rule around their neighbors. Historically, Israel has developed links with the royalists in Iran, the Copts in Egypt, the Phalangists in Lebanon, in order to destabilize and divide those countries it deems as a threat to its sovereignty and its territorial integrity and its designs to expand.
It took only days for Netanyahu to seize the vacuum after the fall of the regime of Syria's Bashar al-Assad. He used that opportunity to attack Syria, which was celebrating long sought-after freedom after decades of oppression.
This is a historic day for the Middle East. The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity, but also is fraught with significant dangers. This collapse is a direct result of our forceful action against Hezbollah and Iran, Assad's main supporters. It set off a chain reaction of all those who want to free themselves from this tyranny and its oppression.
Yes, cue the message of solidarity right before the missiles. Fast forward to June 2025, when Israel unilaterally attacked Iran, not because of any provocation or immediate threat, but because Iran stands in the way of total Israeli dominance in and of the region.
And let's remember also, of course, they've been occupying Syria, the Golan, since 1967, and in the dissolution of the government of Bashar al
They're meant to give them back, by the way. There's a UN resolution that they have to hand back the Golan Heights to Syria, which is Syrian land. They won't, obviously.
Assad, they were able to push right into Syria, up to within 20 kilometers of Damascus, and so they have a physical occupation in the south of Syria and security control over a greater swathe of Syria, and just in the last few days they've sent tanks further into Syria so they can place their air defences, whatever's left of them, nearer to Iran. So, of course, that's what they've always wanted to do.
They excuse Iran's nuclear ambitions, as Netanyahu has been rattling on about like a broken record for 30 years.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace.
And naturally, no grand strategy would be complete without the support of key allies. Netanyahu has skillfully enlisted the United States to take on the frontline role, ensuring that when it comes to executing this contentious agenda, the heavy lifting is handled by those with the deepest pockets and the most powerful arsenal. The plan is not about defeating a certain group, country, or individual. It's about remaking the Middle East one clean break at a time, until there is no obstacle in the way of the realization of the greater Israel project. So next time you hear Netanyahu addressing the brave people of a country he's about to bomb, remember, Israel's motive is not to liberate these people or bring them democracy. Rather, it's a broader and bloodier strategy, carried out in increments like a board game or chess, that leaves nothing but death, destruction, and instability in its wake. And one big part of the clean break for a greater Israel plan that has been going very smoothly, the deafening silence and inaction of Western and Arab leaders, raising alarm that a darker future for the region lies ahead.
Share this video. Let's see. Aha. There we go. Oh, I have new subscribers. I've got a new subscriber on my YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you, whoever that was. Much appreciated. News? No, there's not much there. Let's see who we can go and read. Yeah, I've been going for over 3 hours. Civil Club. I spelled this wrong. Liverpool Chant. Oh, Raptor's still going. Let's go and say hi to Raptor. I'm sorry, YouTube, I still haven't figured out how to read out. There we go. Raptor. Start read. There we go.
See, it is going to be dunking on them like I do on Dave every day. Show his clips, Shu. Show his clip. Yeah, just literally bring out the clips, Shu. Bring out the clips. You can debate these nuts. Present them.
Take your meds.
Is a redacted one, yeah. Gotta have them ribs and pussy too.
Was one of the few people left willing to do that.